Well, I want to start with this poem, and when we do the work is about creativity and really trying to work with a practical question of how do you create a great life? And that could be in your interpersonal relationships, could be in your work, could be in your connection with yourself. And so what we're interested in doing practically is seeing what constitutes a creative state. One of the aspects of that is being open to whatever life gives to you, whatever life brings to you. And this was the basis of Milton Erickson's work. It was sort of my teacher of teachers. And the idea has been around for a long, long time that the creative consciousness is always bringing you these interesting things. Just to show you how long it's been around, I want to share with you this little brief excerpt of a Rumi poem that was written, 750 years ago. And whenever I hear this poem, I'm reminded of Milton Erickson, the sort of model that he was for me. So here's what Rumi says. The inner being of a human being is a jungle. Sometimes wolves dominate, sometimes wild hogs. Be careful when you breathe. At every moment, a new species arises in the chest. Now a demon, now an angel, now a wild animal. But there are also those in this amazing jungle who can absorb you into their own surrender. So if you have to stalk and steal something, steal from them. So one of the things we're looking to do in exploring this idea of practical creativity is how to make a connection with yourself, with your whole somatic being, with the ground, so that everything that comes up, the angels and the demons, you can humanize those parts of the soul, and then you can see how they can contribute to your creative process.
Yeah, to me, the very, very interesting part of all of this is how to get in a good contact with the demon. And I think that is the point, not the point, the aspect of the seminars I took in Brazil that was the most relevant part for me. Because in the books, I got an idea how this works in a cognitive level. Yeah. But what was different in Brazil when working with the group and with you, there was some kind of a connection a relationship I could experience, which is not, you can see it a bit in the books, but you cannot feel it, you cannot work with this.
Totally, because I think we all know just from our everyday experience that if you're just up in your head, when the really challenging stuff hits, you won't be able to handle it. You can't intellectually control it, you can't rationally understand it, so you have to let it move through you, and probably particular emphasis on through, not stuck inside of you. So to me, the underbelly of the creative state is what we sometimes call generative presence. One of the workshops here a couple days ago, I was talking about the three aspects of this. One is what we call vertical flow. So in the martial art of Aikido, we're trained if you're going to deal with an attack from somebody, your first attention doesn't go to the attack or to the problem. Your first attention is to this flow of the life force that's moving through you. So that's your more prominent base of connection. And then the second part of the generative presence is the opening. Not to the problem, not to the demon, but the sense of opening just to the presence of the world. So my grounding and my connection to the world is not through my problem, it's directly to that presence. And only when we have these two types of connections, then we can be curious, how can we engage with others, whether that's our demon, our problem, our partner, our boss, our clients, or whatever. And we can feel this connection that is not too tight, but not too loose either.
Yeah, I was some kind of aware of this before I took your seminars, but I couldn't transfer it, because when a problem is there, you try to solve it, you start to hesitate, you run, and you run faster, and you run even faster, but you never get to a state which enables new ways. Right. What I learned, what the idea I got is the coach state you're talking a lot about. And maybe you can explain to people who never took the seminars what you mean with the coach state that enables so much of movement and change.
Well, again, we would say that your performance is a function of your underlying state. So we look at, are you in a good positive state, or are you in a negative state? Usually as soon as the problem hits, what makes it a problem is you go into this crash state. Crash is an acronym in English, C-R-A-S-H, and it means that I constrict, my body sort of goes into lockdown. I'm reacting either in anger or fear or dissociation or collapse. I'm overanalyzing. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm feeling separate. I'm not feeling like we're part of something deeper, and I feel hurt or hurtful. So, as long as you are in that state, solutions are not going to emerge. New possibilities, creative nonviolence is not going to emerge. So what we look at in the generative change workshops is how to develop what we call the coach state. C stands for centered. So you drop down, you're in your body, you're relaxed, you're clear, you're curious. O stands for open, which means I'm not locked onto the problem, but I'm in a space that includes the problem, but much, much more. I have a sense of experiential sensory awareness that keeps me in the present moment. I feel connected to resources, to a positive intention, and to my mind-body. H means I'm willing to say welcome to whatever shows up. I give it a place in my field of awareness. I'm saying that when you can do that, not only can you feel curious and unafraid, but you can find the creativity to start playing music or start doing what Rumi was saying in that poem.
In the moment you are showing these kind of stages, there was a big resonance, or like even mighty resonance into me. When you crashed, I felt crashed too. And if you opened up too.
Right, right.
And that's something I expect from a coach, that he will help me when I crash to open up again and to walk the steps.
Let's hope so.
So what would be your advice for the coaches, or like your major point? What has a coach to keep in mind, or which mindset does he need to be really helpful for other people?
Don't try to fight it or get rid of it or shut it out. I think that's the kiss of death. And most therapists and most coaches are trained, don't let the client's experience touch you. I think we're fundamentally unable to do that. You know, there's all this research in the last 10, 15 years about what we call mirror neurons, which means that when my organism feels you in a particular state, I model it, I experience it in that part of me as if it's me. When we can do that in a coach state, that's the basis not only for compassion, it's the basis for being able to move your state as the client from isolated to a shared creative place, and then I'm letting it go through me, so I can feel, I can let all this stuff touch me, and then I can invite you to do the same. So as soon as we go into fight, flight, freeze, or fold, the game's over. So we want to help our clients go into what in English we call the fifth F, which is flow. And it always starts with the coach.
So maybe allow me the last question for today. If you think of the next seminars, of whatever you do, what is the fact, what is the thing you realize, oh, that seminar was helpful, that was great, that was... So how do people know, and especially you know, that was a great seminar?
Well, I think there's two connections that are simultaneously happening. One is I feel totally connected to me. I'm not sort of just an intellect, but I feel this sense of presence in which every part of my life is okay. And equally important, why we would come together in workshops rather than doing it just online is because you get this experience of being part of a generative collaborative field. So you realize, oh my God, I'm part of something bigger. I think in particular, this is one of the most important things today, because what we're seeing is isolation, disconnection, separation, and those are the main causes of the violence and the apathy and the fundamentalism that is ever growing in the world. So to me, what we can do in this work hopefully makes a difference not only for our local selves, but it begins to reawaken the sense of what it is to enjoy life and to really participate and contribute in life.
Thank you so much, and enjoy Italy.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.